Chat, right? On. Oh.
Yo.
Oh.
XQCL.
It's over, chat. I'm cancelled.
Live when?
It's over. I'm cancelled.
Aga.
Chat. I'm just confused, chat. You guys. Okay.
Stop
you guys,
stalling, bro. We
Yo.
have work tomorrow, unlike you.
Okay, shut up, bitch. Don't, don't stress me. I just okay. I'm on this, bro. Okay. This is the office. I'm at work right now. Okay. You do not interrupt the Lord. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Right? You do not disrupt the Lord doing the God's work. Okay. You need to settle the fuck down. Anyway, hold on. Okay. Chat, guys. I don't usually spread like mass brain rot. Okay, I do, but okay, I do, but in this one instance, okay, I truly believe that air travel is the safest of all travels, right? It's well regulated. The percentage of incidents is very little, but in the last like 30 days, last like 6 days, how many aviation incidents have we had? Chat. And I tell you this, maybe it's being overly reported. So, is it overly reported, or is there a higher density, unusually, of accidents with air travel? What I mean by overly reported is air incidents having more than you would think. If you look at stats on like a certain airplane or whatever, you'll see like a bunch of incidents, whatever, right? Not all of them go on the news as like a big event, but this year there's been a lot. But a lot of them are all pretty much big. There's a lot of incidents, yeah, exactly. So I'm confused. Like, what is happening? My voice is bad, but it needs to open. It's gonna slowly get there.
Diversity into the
Oh
FAA's
God.
Then another article, the Federal Aviation Administration, this was before I got to office, recently, second term. The FAA is actively recruiting
Yo,
workers who
Exum.
suffer severe
You.
intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine? These are people that are, I mean, actually.
Okay, air traffic control chat make mistakes sometimes, whatever, right? I'm not trying to blame them, but it happens, right? Chat, how come pro gamers can fucking maneuver around like StarCraft Zerglings for fucking 15 hours straight without a single fault? But these guys failed to fucking micro like 1 or 2 planes in the air for them not to fucking collide with them. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Explain? Oh, it's not their fault. Well, I'm saying in general, like just ATs in general.
Their lives are shortened because of the stress that they have. Brilliant people have to be in those positions, and their lives are actually shortened, very substantially shortened because of the stress, where you have many, many planes coming into one target. Their office, they put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program. Then another article, the Federal Aviation Administration, this was before I got to office, recently, second term. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other.
Who linked it? Who linked that? Guys, what is AF Post? Chat, what is that? That's gotta be faking. That's inaccurate news source. It's gotta be. How was that? Is that expensive here?
Here's what happened last night. I'm able to secure the actual audio from the incident over the Potomac last night. Let's listen in together.
789 contact Stone Park today. Okay. American 3130 for the final.
You're going to see a back and forth now between Reagan Tower and the various aircraft that they have lined up on approach into the airport. This happened at about 8:46 p.m. Last evening, and you can see there's several airplanes lined up. That's typical coming in about that time of night at Reagan. They're talking to American Airlines 3130. Which I think is number 2 for the runway. They're telling them to slow down to their final approach speed because they're separating everybody on the way in. It's going to turn out that American 3130 is a key player in what happens here.
Well, American.
Chat, question, chat, is how do you slow down? Chat, don't they have to all land at the same speed? Can they slow down maybe early? I don't get it. What I'm saying is that when they land, they're all going to be landing at about the same speed, right? Yes or no? Because they don't want you guys. They don't want to go over the runway, right? Oh, it's a helicopter, not a plane. See, Chat was wrong. Chat said I'm Pepega, but I'm right. I was right. Chat is just being dumb.
Pat 25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge is CRJ.
Pat 25 is the helicopter that ran into the CRJ 700. It was a PSA flight. The flight number is 5342. It would go under the call sign Blue Streak. Blue Streak 50.
Okay. Yo, plane here, landing here, okay? The plane's gonna do this, okay? Okay, cool. Dude, slow down. Okay, my bad. Or no, that would be speed up. Yeah. Slow down then. It doesn't make it. Well, it doesn't make it. Like, when they're landing, they have a trajectory, right? How do you slow down?
Cock.
Yeah, I know they can slow down, but how's that in a descent though?
Mr. Destructoid, take cover.
You just delay it or something? I don't get it.
My body isn't the problem. The system is. When you're forced to buy, she's
Okay.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Keep trying, Patrick.
I've got a load of awards for SpongeBob SquarePants.
5342. You don't ever hear them talking to tower. They've already been cleared to land on runway 33. So they would come in on an approach on runway 1, and then they would kind of circle to land on runway 33. It's a little shorter runway, but they take some of the regional jets and they put them on that runway. Pat 25 is the Black Hawk helicopter that is just south of the Woodrow Bridge, and they've just taken off. They're airborne. The tower is saying to them, there's traffic. It's a CRJ. It's at 1,200 feet, lined up for runway 33. Do you have that traffic? Pat 25 is going to call back and say yes.
It's 1,200 feet, start runway 33.
Pat 25 says, has the traffic in sight, request visual separation. What that means is that they're going to take responsibility for visual separation from that aircraft. What happened? Here's what.
He got confused with the plane that's coming to 1 and not 33.
I think happened. This is not the final word on it, but what I think happened was it was at night.
He's looking at the guy in front going on runway 1 or whatever, right? But not the guy slowing down, going to 33 from the side, and he's in a blind spot or whatever.
There's several.
So he can't make visual contact or visual separation.
Airplanes lined up. There is that Blue Streak 5342, which is a CRJ that they ran into. Right behind them, just a few miles, is American 3130. Everybody has their lights on as they're coming in. I believe the helicopter looked at the American 3130 and said, I've got the traffic in sight, and they never saw the airplane, the CRJ that was right next to them. That's my conjecture on what happens.
This separation proof. American 1630 Tower, runway 1 lock void, traffic direct left runway 33, dispatch 16 off final.
So this is typical stuff that's going on a busy airport. They're lining somebody up to take off. They're saying, pay attention. I'm going to give you an immediate takeoff here. I've got traffic lining up for runway 33. That's the CRJ that got ran into. And he's on a 6-mile final. It might be somebody even behind him, but they're lining everybody up to take off and to land.
Guys, I have a good question, chat. This is a very good question, chat. It's not dumb, okay? Why is in there air tubes? Like tubes. Like, let's say this is the ground, okay? And this is the path at which planes normally will land, okay? This. Okay? This zone is like a no-no for anybody else to interact with this airspace. And the helicopters will either fly here or there. Why do they even have to occupy this zone? I don't get it. Why are they even coming into spaces that could have planes? They can completely dodge it. I'm confused. The whole point of helicopters is it's more maneuverability. No?
Whiskey 5307, keep rolling out to November, ground 47 today.
You can see at the bottom of your screen there, the CRJ, the Blue Streak 5342, they're beginning to now kind of come out a little bit to line up to runway, to land on runway 33. They're not going to go right straight down the river. They got to come out a little bit wider and come in. But remember, PAT 25, which is up here, the helicopter at the middle of your screen, they've already said, we accept responsibility for visual separation.
American 1630 1 star 320 14, duck 25, traffic 2 mile left base runway 33, no delay, runway 1 clear for immediate
Clears
takeoff.
American to take off.
Clear for takeoff, American 1630.
Here it comes.
Dude, I get it now. So this guy says, I see it, right? Visually, I'm not gonna crash into this guy, right? But this guy was doing a small turn to go to a smaller runway. And he doesn't see this guy. He's looking at this guy instead.
Here it comes. Now the tower is seeing what's happening and they're saying, do you have the CRJ in sight? Because you guys are getting kind of close. And the PAT 25, the helicopter says once again, yeah, and I'm asking for visual separation. Okay, the responsibility is on you then.
PAT 25, pass line is CRJ.
This club has a aircraft in sight, request visual separation.
Okay, so PAT 25 says, has the aircraft in sight, request visual separation. I don't think they had these guys in sight. I think they had the airplane behind them in sight. That's why this is such a tragedy.
Okay. Question mark, chat. I know they can't say all the comms, I assume. But sometimes, chat, guys, if it's that close, don't they have like certain markers like, oh, do you see this one at 200 or whatever? Like some estimate of how far it is, like 200 meters. If let's say this guy behind the other guy is at like 500 meters, right? Do you see the plane at 100, right? They would be like, well, no, it's at 500 or whatever. Then it would say, hey, yeah, we're seeing the wrong one. No? Because I'm just saying, you say, yo, the visual at CJ bullshit 500 is like, well, yo, well, I see it, but it's not 500. It's like fucking, yeah. Why is it so simplified? You see this? Yeah, I see it. I guess.
25 says, has the aircraft in sight, request visual separation. I don't think they had these guys in sight. I think they had the airplane behind them in sight. That's why this is such a tragedy.
Oh, I just Googled what is TCAS, guys. You know what that is? You know what that is? I don't know what it is. This is bad comms, bitch ass.
American 472, Oscar 1 star 320 17.
So you hear somebody in the tower go, oh, and they see what just happened. As you can see in your screen here, the collision took place. The tower has seen it happen in real time. They're human beings. They're reacting just like you and I would. The helicopter
30,
ran
20,
into
10, restart,
the CRJ.
restart,
The CRJ's
restart.
airspace was their airspace. In front of them, behind them, on both sides of them, it was a responsibility of the helicopter to maintain visual separation. They even told him a couple times, do you got him in sight? Do you got him in sight? He said, yep, got him in sight. I'm accepting responsibility for the separation. And I think just like when you're driving in a car and you look and you see a car behind the one that almost hit you, you see that car and you didn't see the one right here. And when you turn out in front, sometimes there's a collision.
Brother, cars have holograms now where you can see your MPH through the dashboard, right? And these guys are operating with what, like some fucking Flintstone, fucking like flap your arms around to fly airplanes and shit. And fucking, I don't get it. Why don't they? I don't get it. Don't they have like a map, a mini map, an air map, a hologram map?
It's really tragic
something
when this happens in an airplane. Again, it's been decades since there's been a mid-air collision in this country. This is such an unusual circumstance to take place. It's such a tragedy. It's been 12 years since there's been a fatality in a commercial airliner here in the United States. That's unprecedented. And that wasn't a mid-air collision. That was just an accident. This is a mid-air collision, and this hasn't happened in forever. So now we know what's going on here. Pat 25, the helicopter, accepted responsibility for visual separation. They probably had their eyes on the airplane behind them, and then they tragically ran into these guys.
Did you see that? 472. American 3130, go around turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000.
So now what happens from the tower's perspective is they have to work.
Yeah, but chat, yes, I'm gonna close the video. Guys, there's human error, but I get it. But there's a pilot, there's a co-pilot, there's one guy looking at the stuff. There's multiple people that you can see. You hear a system beeping in the back. It's beeping literally. Like, bro. It's brilliant.
Work through denial pretty fast. They just saw this happen in real time in front of them. They're human beings like the rest of us. They're kind of in shock. But they've still got airplanes coming in. They've got American Airlines 1630, which just took off. They've got to hand them off to departure. They got American 3130 that's coming in. They got American 472 behind them. They got to do something with these airplanes. The airport is going to be shut here in a second. So they're going to start telling all these guys to go around while they're trying to handle the emergency and get the emergency equipment out. And all of that is, everybody's kind of in a little fog for a few seconds here while all of this is taking place. The tragedy of it hits you hard. And they're very professional. Watch how they handle this. But man, they're busy.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
Tower, Blue Streak, 5347 is on final. Request runway 33, circle to 33.
Second heading for American 3130.
American 3130, go around, turn left in 270, climb maintain 3000.
270 on the heading, 3000.
See how fast he's talking? He's trying to get all these other airplanes out of here.
Crash. This is alert 3. Crash.
Okay, what's MWAA? It's the Metro Washington Airport Authority. Every airport has some sort of governing authority over it. Many times it's called the Port Authority. Up in Boston, it's Mass Port, right? In New York, it's the Port Authority. Down here in Washington, it's the Metro Washington Airport Authority. They're now announcing officially there's a crash. So they go over the radio and they broadcast to everybody. The tower is the main recipient of this, that there's been a crash. He's going to repeat that. That puts a whole bunch of things into motion all at the same time. The fire crews now are going to jump in their uniforms. They're going to get in their fire trucks. They're going to drive to where the crash is. There's going to be details about this coming, but this whole thing is very frenzied and happens very fast. But these are really highly trained professionals. They do a really terrific job.
Alert 3. Crash. This is alert 3.
And alert 3 is a crash.
Oh, shit. Where's the alert 3? It is on the approaching runway 33. Approaching runway 33. Helicopter crash. Copy out this morning. Crash. Alert 3. 2 helicopters.
Okay, so again, fog of war. The first report that they get is that it's 2 helicopters. They're going to clarify this really quickly because the tower's talking back and forth, and the tower's going to say, nope, it was a CRJ and a helicopter. So they get this, because it's cleared up pretty fast.
Well, helicopter CRJ approaching runway 33.
Can you
That's
welcome
really
me to the
fast.
jungle? Don't you clap.
The approaching runway 33, a mile off final. Crash. Yeah. Kilo CRJ.
I'm not bored. What do?
Okay. How many totals on board? We don't have any of that information. Tower's reporting a CRJ and a helicopter crash into the Potomac River.
So they're passing the information back and forth to the first responders who need it. Everybody's trying to clarify while they're jumping in their trucks and they're heading out there. Now they know exactly where they're going. It's at the approach end of runway 33. It's somewhere in the Potomac. Now they're going to have to coordinate boats and other things. Eventually they're going to get helicopters involved.
Sure, can we go ahead and hold all operations until we have emergency units respond?
Z.
They might close the airport so they can
Yeah, that's perfect. All operations are going to close.
Everything's closed.
And everybody just hold your positions, please, on the field right now.
Okay, so this is the ground controller. Now, the ground controller is the one that's going to get all these trucks going where they need to go. But the ground controller needs to stop all the airplanes. So she just makes a blanket broadcast. Everybody stop right where you are. Every once in a while, you kind of half hear that. And then,
Brother, look at this guy in chat. Look at that. Bro, there's no way. Great job equals Nazar's pog you. What is wrong with this guy? Brother, what do you expect these guys to fucking do? Like fucking, like res, something like that? Like what?
You say, okay, I'm sorry. And there's also people asking to be released from their gate to go. They're not into what's going on yet because they just put their headsets on.
Is he okay?
And they're just getting ready to go. One aircraft's going to have to do this, and she's just going to say, everybody stop.
That's 43, ready for taxi.
Everyone's going to have to hold for down.
No.
I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Fire command, the accident happened in the river. Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the rivers east of the approach into runway 33.
It's amazing to me how much clarity they have about actually what happened and where it happened. And many times in an accident like this, it takes 5 to 10 minutes just to get everything sorted out. They're very good here at getting it all very concise, and so the response time was phenomenal on this.
Yes, the airfield is closed. The airfield is closed.
And ARF is the Aircraft Rescue and Firefighters. That's the actual fire chief that's in the fire truck. He's asking, is the airport closed and are the runways closed as well? That way he can expedite getting out there. He doesn't have to stop and ask, can I cross this runway? Can I go on that taxiway? She's about to tell him, the whole place is shut down. You go. You own the airport now.
All runways are closed. Nobody's landing. No one's moving at all.
And we have clearance to cross all taxiways.
Yes, you have clearance to the whole field. All taxiways and runways.
So basically, she's saying to these guys, go. And at that moment, the fire trucks take off. What we know about the accident at this point is that there were no survivors. It's now a recovery operation. That's the sad part about all of this, and that's the part that really hits us hard right here. But I know you wanted to hear what happened and maybe my response to how they handled this emergency.
Chat. Let me just compare, chat. What would the news say?
That's Doug Zieg
happening. So the real question is, why it happened and how it happened. What we do know is that the main runway here, it's not quite orientated properly, but that's the main northerly runway. So the American Airlines aircraft, as all of the others, would have been coming to land there and then taking off in this direction. Meanwhile, the Nighthawk would have been operating its way. Sorry, Black Hawk would have been operating its way down the Potomac here.
Plane crash. Championship figure skater. Jesus.
Now, as the pilot of the Black Hawk, he'd have thought all of the civilian traffic is to the north of me, leaving or arriving. What happened just before this accident, though, was the American Airlines aircraft was on approach down here, was suddenly asked, could he take the shorter runway, which is the runway here? He said he could. So therefore, rather than going straight along that line, he diverted down to the south to get himself onto a lineup.
Makes sense.
My mistakes.